In this video, we're going to import a landing page to LanderBolt, publish it to our tracker, and set up multivariate split testing on the page as well. It's going to be a full walkthrough from start to finish on how to get any page that you want into LanderBolt so that you can edit it, set up all the multivariate split testing that you would like on the page, and then publish all of your page variations to the tracker. So let's get started. I'm in my LanderBolt account. I don't have any pages created yet, and I'm starting on my dashboard. So for this demo, I'm going to be importing a landing page. So there's actually 4 different ways to make a page in LanderBolt, and if you need help with those 4 methods, we have a quick tutorial that covers all of them in our support portal. There's a video in there, so if you have any questions, you can go up there. But for this demo, we're going to do the import method. So I'm going to click on Create New Page at the top left, or I can select this button in the middle, and click on Universal Importer. This is the most popular way to create a landing page with LanderBolt because it allows you to put any page that has a URL in here. So if you have other pages hosted somewhere else on other servers, or just have a page that you want to get into LanderBolt, and run in your campaigns, this is the way to do it. So we're in here, and it just needs a URL to import. I'm going to go to this page here. This is a page I pulled up already. It is a listicle that is, or it's actually an advertorial, it looks like. So it's an advertorial that sells a e-commerce product. This is a pretty popular style of page. It has some pretty cool elements on it, like this bar at the bottom, etc. So all we have to do is grab the URL and copy it, and then paste it in here inside of LanderBolt. Now we can make a page name. I'm going to call this USA Ecom, and let's see what kind of page this was. Sterilize X. Yep. Okay, so we'll just name it Sterilize. Category e-commerce. You don't actually have to provide anything here, but I am to keep myself organized. And I can select a domain to put it on. I'm going to put it on my domain I have in my account already. If you need help adding a domain to your account, we have videos that show how to do that as well in our support portal. So I've added the domain, and the folder name is going to be Sterilize. Okay, I'm going to hit Create Page. This is going to go out and grab that page, so it may take a few moments. That was pretty fast for me, but I have fast internet. So depending on your internet speed, that can take a little bit of time. And it goes out and grabs the page and does some other things. So now that we have the page, I'm going to go into the visual editor right now. So we can just make sure that it imported. So it looks like it imported pretty well. If you try to import a page and you notice that the styles or the images or something is not looking correct, or maybe there's some JavaScript or interactive elements on the page that aren't working, it's probably because the page you're importing has maybe some bad code on it, and you may have to clean that code up. That's why we recommend only importing your own pages from perhaps your other servers or one that you've had previously. So you have the page in here, and now we're going to begin setting up the multivariate split testing. So that means we can select on the page elements that we want to make split tests of, and then take every combination of those split tests and create tons of page variations for those. So all we have to do is select the different things that we want to test. So I'm going to test the headline. I want to try a bunch of different headlines and see how they perform. So I'm going to select the headline. And then if I click on the MVT config button in the top, or if I right click and choose MVT configuration, they do the same thing. I'm going to choose MVT configuration. And all I have to do is make a name for this. It already has one in there, so yours might not. And if it doesn't, all I'm going to do is make a name. I'm going to make a different one. So it's going to be a top headline. It's just all lowercase. I'm just making a name, and this is going to help us in the next step. So For now, it might seem kind of confusing, but all I'm doing is making a name here. It doesn't really matter what it is. Top headline. Okay. And then let's go down and look at something else we want to split. Let's just do this top image. So I want to try a bunch of different image variations for this big product image at the top. So I'll right-click, MVT configuration, and this one already has big image 1. I'm going to rename it to top image. When you do this on your page, it'll probably be blank for you. So when you get to this window, you're just going to see blank, and you can just make a name. So top image. And then finally, I'm going to go down. What else do I want to split test? Let's try the button. I want to try a bunch of different call to actions in the button. So I'm going to go here. I'm just going to type in CTA for this one. Call to action. Okay. Cool. Once I've set up all the things I want to test, I'm just going to try those 3 things. The headline, the image, and the button. We don't want to get too complex here. Once I've set those up, I just have to hit Save Changes up at the top. Okay. Now that I've hit Save Changes, I'm going to go to the MVT settings at the top, the multivariate test settings at the top. Once I'm in here, this allows me to create variations for all those things that we just added in the previous step. So here I'm just going to add those names. So the first thing I want to test was top headline. And it was text. You just select whether it was text or an image. So I'm going to select text and hit add element. And then now it pops up this new box on the screen. I can provide all my different variations for that headline. So let's say I just take the existing headline and I wanted to make some different variations. I would all paste it in and say, instead of this device is what you need, I'll say you need this to fight invisible bacteria on any surface with UV light. So that's one headline. I'm going to paste it again, and let's just change it around even more. Fight invisible bacteria on any surface with UV light. And then let's just try one that's totally crazy. You must see this top 2020 gadget that fights bacteria on any surface. Exclamation point. Okay, so there's 3 different headlines I want to test. Now what we're going to do is jump into the images. So remember I named that thing top image, that big top image on the page. That's the name I made for it. So top image, and I'll select image, and then just add element. And now I can choose different image variations. Now I don't actually have any images for that particular product, but I'm just going to throw in a couple from a different product I've been working on. And so we'll try these 3 images. There's some compression socks and a Wi-Fi extender, but that doesn't matter. I'm just showing how the multivariate works right now. We're selecting all 3 of those. I selected 3 files, you hit the plus button, and now I have 3 different images to test. And then we have one more thing that we wanted to test. Remember, it was CTA. That's the text on the button. So I'm going to hit add element. And again, I'm going to go back to the page, scroll down, and look at the button. It says get up to 50% off your Sterilize X today. Let's go back here and just try some shorter ones. Get 50% off now. Learn more about Sterilize X. How about just click to order? That should be enough. Those aren't very clever. I'm sure you can think of better ones, but this is just a demo. So we have 3 headlines, 3 images, and 3 call to actions. That is, if you do the math, that's going to end up being 27 variations of the page, because multivariate split testing is going to take every headline with every image and every button and so on and so forth until every combination of these 9 different things has been done. So now all we have to do is go down to the very bottom and click Save Configuration. This saves the configuration, and there's only one more thing that really has to be done, and that is going to be to place this script into your page's HTML code. And it's quite easy. You're just going to select Script, copy it, and go to the File Manager. It even says Navigate. This is some text instructions. It even says Navigate to the File Manager. I'm going to click on it. This goes into the File Manager, and we have videos in our support portal which demonstrate all the features of the File Manager if you want to check those out. But for now, you're going to click on index.html on the left. And all you have to do is scroll down to the very bottom of your page, and we're going to place the script just before the closing body tag. So if you look at the very bottom of your page, it'll say like bracket / body, and then another bracket. You just want to paste that script right before this. This page already has it in there, but I'm going to show you. If it didn't have it in there, it'd look like this. And all I'm doing is putting my cursor right before where it says that ending tag, that body tag, and I'm pasting. So there you go, puts it in there. Now you just have to hit Save Changes on the top right. Okay, that's done. And so that should configure the page with multivariate testing. And if we go back to the multivariate settings button on the top right here, we can view all of our URLs. So all it says right here, this black button, view all 27 URLs. If I click that, it pops up, and I have all my 27 different variations. Here's the URLs to all of them. So I'm going to pick a random one, and I'm going to test it. So let's pick variation number 16. You can see the number at the end. So I'm going to take this and copy it, and let's go to a new tab in my browser. And you'll notice I'm using an incognito window. This is always recommended when you're testing anything of your own links. If you're testing your own link to a campaign, to a landing page, anything with LanderBolt, always use incognito or private browsing if you're on Chrome or Firefox. Or sorry, Safari or Firefox. Chrome calls it incognito. You want to do this so that the browser cache doesn't cause a problem. Sometimes the browser cache will load like an old version of the page. You want to make sure that doesn't happen. So I'm going to paste it in. You'll notice that I get this not found error. If you see this error, it means you did not publish the page inside of LanderBolt. I did that on purpose to show you a common mistake. So if this happens, all you have to do is publish your page. So I'm going to go back to LanderBolt, scroll up to the top, and click on Page Properties. And you'll notice I have a domain set, but I never clicked on this blue Publish button at the bottom. So I'm going to click it. This now publishes the page, and it says your page is published at this location. So now I can go straight to the page, but this is just the original variation. Doesn't have our variation in here. So let's go back and test variation number 16. If I visit this, it's going to load, and you'll notice that the headline is different. This is one of the headlines I made, so this is variation number 16, had this headline. The image was of some socks, and if you go down, the button was Learn More about Sterilize X. Instead of having that 50% off thing, that was the variation I used. So see, it's really, really quick to make tons of variations of your page. So that works, and now the only thing we have to do is obviously send traffic to this. So pretty simple to do. We have to publish this to our tracker. Now, if I had to go in and take all 27 of these URLs and put every single one of them into my tracker, this would be a little bit of a pain. So we have a really cool integration with some trackers that allow you to do this. So for this demonstration, we're going to use AdsBridge. And to integrate with AdsBridge, we're going to click on Integrations on the left, Connect Tracker, and choose AdsBridge. It asks for three things. It wants an integration name. This is just to help me stay organized for which account this is. If I had multiple trackers, this would help. I'm just going to name it AdsBridge. Again, I'm just making that up. This is just for me to stay organized. API key and client ID are both something from AdsBridge. So I have my AdsBridge account here. And if I go up to my user settings on the top right and choose my account, I'm in here, and the API key is here at the bottom. I can hit show API key. It requires that I type my password. And once I do that, it'll show the API key. So I'm going to copy this whole thing. It's pretty long. It's even longer than the field. So make sure you select the whole thing and then copy it. Go back into LanderBolt and paste it. Now it wants the client ID. It's pretty easy to find in AdsBridge as well, and it's here at the top. Mine is 66017. Yours will be different. So I'm going to paste that in. I'm going to hit connect. Great. So it's connected. Now that the tracker is connected, I can publish my landing page to AdsBridge, and it's going to automatically publish every single variation as well that we made with the multivariate split testing to save you all that time. So if I click on dashboard, I have the landing page that I made here. It's all good to go. I'm going to click on the settings button, and you'll notice we have a new button now down at the bottom left. Because we've done that integration, we have this new button that says publish to tracker. Just going to click on that and choose the tracker that I configured, AdsBridge. This will take, depending on how many variations you take or you have, this could take quite some time. If you have a couple hundred variations, for instance, it has to publish all of them. So it'll publish those out. I got an error on this one, but it may have actually published them. This could be because I went past the API limit on AdsBridge. So if I go over to AdsBridge, let's just take a look and see what we got. Let's go to my landing page section. And it's going to load. AdsBridge loading. Okay. And I have a lot of tests in here. What it's going to do is it's going to create a group, a grouping inside of your AdsBridge, so it doesn't just put them all on your dashboard. And you can see here at the very bottom, it created a group called ecom sterilize variation. So ecom-sterilize was the name of my page inside of LanderBolt. So that's pretty handy that it makes a grouping for you. If I select the grouping, you can see it creates all the different variations right there. So this will publish all your variations over to AdsBridge, and if I select one, you can see that it has the URL and all the settings. So then, one final thing that you're going to want to do is put your click URL into all your variations. So obviously, if I'm using AdsBridge or whatever tracker you're using, you're going to need to take this outgoing URL and put it into your links on your page. So if I select this, I'm going to copy it and go back into LanderBolt. Once I'm in LanderBolt, there's a quick way to do this. If I go to the visual editor and I click on the link replacer at the top, I can actually paste in a URL and it will replace all the outgoing links on this page with this URL. So I can just hit OK. And it replaces all the outgoing links. Then I can click on the Save Changes button. Now, the important thing to take note of is, even though I have 27 variations of this page, any changes that I make in the visual editor, like those links I just replaced with the link replacer, or if I came in here and I changed a bunch of text, or I made something bold, any changes that I make inside of the visual editor take place on all of the variations. So it's a really quick way. You don't need to worry about going into all 27 variations and changing the links in them. Anything I change in this visual editor will actually go in and make the change to all of them. So that's also time saving, and that's as easy as it gets. All you have to do is put those links in, like I just did. Then I hit the Save Changes button at the top. And now everything is all set up, it's all good to go, and I can start running traffic to my campaign inside of AdsBridge. I can make a new campaign and put all of those variations that I published into that campaign and quickly run traffic to all of them and find out which one to keep and which one not to keep. So that is a demo going through every single step to import a landing page, go through the multivariate configuration, set up a tracker integration, connect it to the tracker and publish to that tracker, and then also go back into the page and place your outgoing links on all your variations. So hopefully that was helpful. If anything here was confusing, make sure to watch the video again, or we have tons of support videos, tons of tutorial videos in our support section of LanderBolt. If you click on the help button at the top right, there is a video walkthrough series. And if you go into the video walkthrough series page, we have videos about every step of the way broken down. So again, hopefully this is helpful. And if you have any other questions, make sure to email us.